What's up, Schmoedown fans? Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. I'm Star Wars competitor Andrew Dimalanta.
And I'm Nicki Dimalanta.
And we actually have a full week to talk about this week. It's weird because like we're always like, oh, this is so loud. Why is this so loud in my ears? Sorry. But yeah, it's been like weird to be like, because we were used to only talking about one match a week and then all that stuff. Now we're into the tournament. Well, we had a play-in for the tournament, and now we're releasing an exhibition. But we have two matches to talk about and a lot of other stuff too. Yes. I like it when you do that.
Yeah.
But
whoops.
But yeah, they decided to release the the champions match between John Roca, Dan Murrell, Kevin Smets, and Alex Damon this week. And we saw it when it was released on Patreon, but they decided to release it to the public this time. And we're not going to go into depth on it because we didn't take notes on it because we didn't think they were going to release it. And
we watched it when I was on Patreon, and we were like, we don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, but regardless, fantastic match.
Oh, much different than I thought it was going to play out.
Oh yeah,
we can talk about it, right?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
I mean, it just went live today, the day we're filming this.
Yeah.
So, Friday.
But yeah, like,
spoilies.
Did the person that won, did you expect this person to win?
No. I went into this assuming that it would be between Dan Murrell and John Roca.
I thought Murrell
which I know is wrong of me to assume.
Well, it's not that far off because everybody's like, oh yeah, Dan, because it's like, how is this fair?
Well, because you figure if it's going to be a regular old four-way match, it's not going to be an Intergeekdom match. It's not going to be a Star Wars match. It's going to be some kind of weird mixture of all of them, which means that the majority of the match is going to be non-geek stuff.
Yeah. But I think they explained it. They said the question pool is like spread out enough to where there's enough Intergeekdom stuff, because Alex is Intergeekdom now, so he should have a plethora of knowledge in the Intergeekdom. So
true. I
think it's just equally divided questions, and this was a fairly competitive match. I expected Alex to be like at the bottom of the
no, he kept in.
He kept in there. So
he did.
Yeah, but Kevin Smets ended up winning this match.
He did.
And I remember like saying on weeks before, it's like, don't count out Kevin Smets.
No, that dude's a beast.
Anything. The guy is a beast.
Even in a match that wasn't Intergeekdom, he still took it.
Oh yeah.
And even he took it in a four-way match where Alex Damon got Star Wars in round 2, which is...
Yeah, I was kind of like, oh,
of course
he got it. Of course he got Star Wars. Because that's how it rolls with Damon.
Yeah.
But like anything else about this match, because I remember Roca had that ridiculous, like his 5-pointer, that pull was ridiculous.
He did. He was absolutely, I think he burned a couple of JTEs and he was just like, I don't know.
He did that classic Roca thing, like, I don't know, this...
And then it was that.
And he's admitted several times that when he does that, he's not playing.
It's genuine.
It's genuine. It's like, because he always does like, it's like, oh God, I don't know.
John is the best.
He's really cool.
Because he's a legend in this game. Yeah, he's always like, oh God, oh no, this category, no.
Yeah, and he like, it's not like he's counting himself out, but he still crushes it. But God, there's something else I wanted to talk about. With this, that I was like, oh man, it escapes me because we didn't take notes because we didn't foresee them putting stuff to the public, so we couldn't go into depth. But like, I do remember this being a very competitive match,
much more so than I thought it would.
Yeah.
So that's a fun surprise. I do hope that this becomes an annual thing.
Oh yeah, I think that's what I wanted to mention. That like if they made this an annual, not even just exhibition, but like this is an annual thing at a live event or like a throwdown or something like that. Just something that I think it would be fun to do every year.
Well, I think it should stay an exhibition.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
an exhibition, but like don't like make it strictly for patrons. I think everybody should see it.
Oh, I see the angle.
It's an exhibition.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. Yeah, no, I'm saying the angle I'm coming in at is I don't think that, assuming this whole faction thing continues to be a thing, I don't think that this should be a thing that counts for points.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
That's what I was
Absolutely
coming
not.
at.
Because then it gets to the point of like how fair is it?
Yeah. No.
So
it's a fun exhibition.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it is an exhibition.
Yeah, an exhibition match, but don't restrict it to patrons.
Yes.
But like do it at like a pre-game for like a collision or something. But then again, titles might be on the line on the live event, so you don't want your competitors.
Put extra stress on them.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe
it's good for the Patreon because it's like, hey, you want to see who wins this? You got to be a Patreon first.
Yeah,
and then maybe
then release it to the public. Yeah, do it exactly the way they did.
A year later, you can see it.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. But
good move, Christian. You really know.
That's why you run the Schmoedown and we don't. Anything else we want to talk about before we get into obviously the big bulk of today's conversation is to be about the play-in match between Quevedo and Cabrera.
Yes. Well, before we get into that, we should, I think, touch on the drama surrounding Mr. Brandon Hanna.
Now you'll probably lead this conversation off because I didn't watch the video. I heard it was like 1 million hours long, and he just.
I mean, it was no. I don't know. I don't think it was like super long. I haven't been, like waited with bated breath, every tweet and every video. But
and I've been very not very active on Twitter
because honestly,
or the Facebook group for
it started out with Brandon was on the Den.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know exactly the timeline, but I guess Kate didn't put him in the Intergeekdom match.
So she decided to
get me off of this team.
Yeah, she decided to put Saul in the Intergeekdom tournament and Ben in the Intergeekdom tournament over Hannah.
And he was like, nah, man.
I need to be in this tournament. Trade me away to another team.
So he gets put with the
Droogs.
Droogs. That's what I thought. Yeah. So he gets with the Droogs. Mm-hmm. And now... Wow, funny how time works that Brandon is now facing Saul. Crazy how seeding works. Am I right, ladies?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So Brandon's now facing... Funny. Funny how that works.
Don't start the chairman. He listens to the show.
I'm just thinking it's just funny how that works out. Because Saul's out there and he's making his smack talk videos, and it's great,
No, it's
I'm
great
not.
for
I'm just being stupid here, but it's honestly a fantastic matchup because Brandon, like Christian has said a couple times, has everything to lose because when you're out there, you're talking that big of a game. Baby boy, you better back it up. You know what I'm saying? That's why I've always told Andrew if I ever was in the Schmoedown, which I never will be because I get crushed by any man.
You never know.
Unless there was a Schmoedown for memes.
You never know.
I don't think so.
You never know.
Probably not. If you ever saw me in a Schmoedown, it would be in like a Star Wars Fatal 5-Way and I'd be cruising in there at 5th place. You know what I'm saying?
You've been doing pretty well. You're getting better at our play-alongs.
I'm getting better.
You're getting a lot better at our play-alongs. And if you want to see those play-alongs, they will be available to the public every month. But patrons get them first right when we drop them. So we just dropped one this past week, and it's awesome. I think this is one of my favorite play-alongs that we did.
I'm getting better.
Anyways,
at the Star Wars ones. Anyways, so Saul posts his, trash talking videos. Brandon's posting his trash talking. Brandon definitely has been a bit more vocal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He posts a video on, somewhere on the internet with Twitter and or Facebook. It was definitely, I think, Twitter. And he makes this video and it's all like calling out Kate and, probably the Den too. And, trashing Kate as a manager and blah, blah, blah. Why wasn't I put in the thing? And then... He also, for some reason, starts going after call to action.
Yeah, that one I don't get.
Every time we film this, I'm like, wow, I should have done my research better. No different this time because I probably should have rewatched that Brandon Hanna video. But I do remember that he went after call to action and then call to action people, Paul Denuzio.
Yeah, PLD, I watched a little bit of the video.
PLD, oh yeah, he had a response video, which was very great because somebody pointed out, wow, Brandon Hanna looked down at a script about 100 times in the middle of his video. PLD looked at a script 0 times and was popping off, baby. You know what I'm saying? He was popping. So, PLD had a response. Quevedo had a response. Call to Action wasn't too excited about it, suffice it to say. Yeah. And then I don't know if he released another video after that. I don't feel like he did.
I think he did just comments on Twitter.
I've just been seeing a lot of things on Twitter because I saw that Christian posted something and he was like, hey, wow. Going crossing the line here a little bit.
He was going after the flouse.
Oh, yeah. Because he was saying, Harloff's pity case or whatever word he used. I forget what term he used.
Yeah.
But going after the flouse, and it's like, first of all, not a real person.
First off,
First of all, slow your roll.
Pump your brakes, son.
Yeah, because he's a national treasure in Germany.
And second of all, fictional character.
And second of all, fictional character, But it's like, hey, listen, give Brandon Hanna and Flouse a match. That would be pretty funny.
That'd be pretty funny.
Because I don't know how well Brandon would do in a regular singles match.
You never know.
And who knows? Maybe he'd be a good match for Flouse. Maybe not. Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
Everybody would win, though. But yeah, he went after Brett's character as a Flirt and Flouse. And everybody's like, whoa, I was with you until this point.
It lost a lot of fans.
But, he's just been popping off a lot on Twitter and, saying this and saying this. God, I wish I would have screenshot stuff. But I do remember looking at some tweets after a while and I was like, oh, and then Kevin Smets went on his show.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That Hitman show, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I saw that Kevin tweeted or responded to the Facebook post or whatever. Mm-hmm. Internet. Am I right? It's all the same. But Kevin responded and he was like, wow, like I've never lost a friend live on a like YouTube show before or whatever. And I didn't watch the whole video, admittedly, but I did skim through it a bit. It gets heated, it's Brandon and Kevin and they're bickering back and forth. And, I'd never, in my opinion, Kevin is just more believable and Brandon just seems more like he's putting up a front.
Yeah, and this is what I was about to say because again, this show is called Beyond the Schmoedown for a reason.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten these people on that I want to get on later because we're busy with other things, but I want to get people like RB3, Nerd Chronic, people that are behind the scenes, and I'm thinking like a lot of this is probably just character work for Hannah for stories because we haven't had
I would assume and hope.
Yeah, because we haven't gotten a lot of story development through COVID. Because we've gotten, I think the last cutscene we got was probably the one with Gucci, and the Dagnino mask thing. Was that the last one we got, or was it the Hannah one? Or no, not the Hannah one, the Chandru one.
The Chandru slow dance one.
Yeah, was that the last one we saw? Because we haven't seen a cutscene in a very long time.
It seems like forever ago.
Yeah, exactly. So there hasn't been a lot of like story work.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard to do with COVID, and I think this is an opportunity where I think. Christian might have looked at this as like, hey, we have a good storyline. You're going up against Saul in the first round. Start talking to them, start doing this so we can get like storylines built. And I think a lot of this it's just that story work.
Yeah.
Because we've met Hannah loosely twice now.
Yeah, a couple times.
We've talked to him a little bit, and he's a very reserved guy. He isn't like guy or...
He's not, loud and... Well, I'm not to be like...
boisterous.
Guy's loud and boisterous.
Yeah.
I mean, he can be.
When you meet him in person, he's very reserved.
Reserved is a good word.
Yeah, he's very, he's not outspoken enough. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
From the little times we met him. But this doesn't seem like him. And this seems like almost 100% of character work. And I'm almost wondering whether or not before he put this video out, he might have reached out to the call to action people and and
cool
Smets,
with this.
and DM him like, hey, I'm about to drop this video and it's going to be doing all this and this and that, and just I want to let you know that this is 100% character work.
I wonder.
We're cool, and if you want to do a response video, go ahead. It'll be great for story. I can see that happening because I don't see this being who Hannah is. I really don't
either, because it's just kind of it's gotten to the point now, and it's like, whatever, I'll take anything Schmoedown. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. Give me all the content.
Yeah.
But it's kind of gotten to the point with Brandon where I'm kind of almost like, all right,
you're doing a little too much.
All right,
especially the one with the Smets, because if you are Rose, it's like you really I know I take the game really seriously. And so does everybody else. Everybody, especially new people coming in, they take it really, really seriously. But to go as far to lose a friend, it's a little too much. If me and Goddard were going up against each other in Intergeekdom or something, I would not want to say something or have him on this show or go onto one of his show and be like, hey man,
screw you,
man, whatever. And then like, all right, our friendship's done because like we have a great time with Goddard.
He's the best.
So like, I wouldn't want to sacrifice what we've gained with him like over the internet because we've only hung out with him once
for the sake of entertainment.
Yeah, for the sake of entertainment, I wanted to do that.
So it should be character work, is basically what you're saying.
Yeah,
I would hope so too, and I would assume so because it's a show.
And
I would be very shocked if this were real.
And you said, because you said you watched the other thing with Smets, and you said like, yeah, it's kind of like Smets is far more believable than what Hannah's doing.
I find Smets more intimidating.
Oh no, I think Smets is fantastic in the cutscenes, and he has such a great handle on not only the competition but everything else outside of the competition, like character work, the trash talk, and like he's broken kayfabe. I'm not sure.
I'm not a fan of that word anymore. Everyone throws it around much.
I'm not so sure I'm using that term correctly, but he breaks character once or twice while he's on the desk. Every so often he'll break character, but it's very few and far between. But he's really good at staying in character most of the time. So that's why I just think it's for show, and rightfully so if they want to like take it so, because like. There's me, and then there's the hunter persona, and the line between those two is very thin for me, at least, especially when I get heated. But like, I can tell you when the hunter ends and Andrew begins. It's very obvious when that happens, and like when you talk to me outside the Schmoedown or where I'm on all the podcasts, you really don't get the hunter. You get Andrew.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and you haven't really
had much opportunity
to do character work.
Yeah, exactly.
To be fair.
So I'm a bad example. Don't ignore everything I just said.
To be honest.
But yeah, so
because I know there's a lot of people that have been in the comments like, Hannah, is this real? Like,
I doubt it is.
I doubt it is. I mean, 99% of me, the logical part of me is like, nah, it's a show. Duh. Yeah. But then the 1% of me is like, he's really not letting go of this. Yeah. But then again, you look at somebody like Guy, and he's so dedicated to his character. So,
and
it's
people like Kalinowski. Like sometimes it's hard to like, wow, is that really how he is? And we've met him, and he's so cool and so nice.
One thing that it would be like a good, just like if there's no match to talk about, that would be a good topic of conversation. Is the blurred line between fantasy and reality in the Schmoedown, and how difficult it is to deal with that as a competitor. Coming from a non-competitor saying that, but as somebody watching somebody who is a competitor deal with stuff.
We'll have somebody on. Maybe we'll have Mike on.
Maybe because I can't. That's another reason I could never be a competitor is because I would have a really hard time separating. You know what? Let's not even go into that. We could talk. We'll save that for another show.
We'll do that for another
show.
Because
we could go, for a long time.
So, anything else before we get into the bulk of the conversation?
Not so much because the other talking point I have is kind of related to the tournament. So let's get into
So we'll talk. Yeah, we'll talk about it after.
Quevedo versus. Josh, the Jester Quevedo versus Andres Ace Cabrera.
And this is the play-in match to get into the Star Wars tournament. Winner goes on to Ken Knapsack in the first round.
Yes. So we've got Josh with the Rockstars, with Ace and Swag. So the one thing that I loved in the promos was that Winston said that he'd love to take that L because Roxy was talking about the L that he gave her figuratively and literally and metaphorically in their last match, and she was talking about the L, and Winston was like saying how he'd love to take that L back, but Roxy, Winston starts with W, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To which I was like, hey man, go a step further. Winston starts with win.
That was a missed opportunity.
Your door was wide open, son. Anyways, he was right. Need a case.
Yeah.
So. Round 1. Interesting that we went for 10 questions instead of 6.
Yeah, that was something that surprised me because they made a big to-do to like, hey, we're switching up in an alteration. Maybe this is just for the play-in. I don't know.
Either that or maybe it's just because it's a tournament and they want to have it be more traditional.
Yeah, but like the whole point of them doing 6 questions in the first then 10, I always, from my understanding, was to save questions because everybody always argues and it's true. There's a limited amount of questions you can ask.
It's true, but read Wikipedia. There's so much.
Yeah. But like, I get it. If it is, then that's more opportunity for points. So I think that's what it boils down to.
I mean, we'll see next week. We'll see if there's still 10 questions for like the main matches or if it was just for the play-in.
Yeah.
Something tells me that it's just a thing for the tournament because it's a tournament.
Yeah.
So, Josh and Ace, they both got perfect rounds.
Yeah.
They both got the bonus question.
Mm-hmm.
So by the end of round 1, it was 11-11.
Yeah, and this trend of first round questions
being first round questions
continues over into this tournament because we've talked to death on the show that this season a lot of people are getting perfect rounds and I don't want to because we discussed it before and that's a good way to say not that they're easier questions anymore. I think referring to them as first round questions is the perfect. That's what it is. Perfect. Yeah, it's a perfect example of how to approach that.
Round 1 questions or round 1 questions?
They're round 1 questions.
That's all
exactly.
it is.
Yeah.
I really had a hard time saying that. So round 2.
What is that? Ginger ale. What is that?
Oh no, baby. You tell me. So round 2, Joshua the Jester Quevedo goes first. He spins heroes and villains.
Okay.
Yes, you're going exactly where I think you're going.
Yes.
And I know that this was already rectified, but proceed.
So on SEN this past week, so when he spun his category, it stopped. This is the problem.
Digital wheel.
Problems with digital wheel is it stopped directly in the middle of 2 categories. And what he was able to do was, all right, you either pick this category or this category. And I immediately went, whoa, whoa. You've never been able to do that. Mm-hmm. This actually happened in a live event at a celebration one time.
Really?
Yeah, it did.
Was it Celebration Orlando?
I think it was Orlando. It might have been Orlando because it was the same type of wheel. It's like, oh, it's like that. And then at the last second, it went,
oh, like yeah, that's right.
Remember that?
Yes, I do.
So,
I think it was Orlando.
This happened before, and they didn't. It's like, oh, well, I guess we'll do it. But what Christian had said that they're doing is there's an actual indicator on the software they're using. It says, all right, it actually spun this. They're going to go with that. And you're just going to have to trust them on that.
Which I'm glad for because I just feel like that whole if it lands in because it happened twice in the match.
It happened twice,
which is like whoa.
Yeah.
So and I feel like if you do that and people get to choose, then somebody's gonna get butthurt when they lose and be like, well, it's because he had to
choose his category.
Imagine if somebody gets A New Hope or Weapons, Vehicles, and Technology, and they're like, oh yeah, give me A New Hope. I've seen that about 87 bazillion times.
Exactly.
And then the person that lost is like, well, that's not fair. Weapons, Vehicles, and Technology might have been harder, and they got to pick. So, it eliminates room for people to. It eliminates complaints. You hope.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. I think, in my eyes, the fairest way to do it without a wheel was names out of a bowl, categories out of a bowl. And do it.
I agree.
In front of the camera, and it's fully transparent. It's like, this is your category. Nope. Okay. All right. There's your category. I think the digital wheel is a more of an opportunity for them to spin on the same category
because computers are so precise.
Yeah, well, yeah, that and the names out of the bowl thing.
I feel like people could complain about that too.
Yeah.
If you don't fold it back up just so you could feel the one that you put back in there.
And I think that's why they're not doing it. But I think the other fairest way to do it is actually have a wheel behind somebody and like, here you go, and spin it. But I don't know.
There's no right answer in these circumstances.
I just hate the digital wheel so much because I have my own experience with the digital wheel, but I don't know. It's just I don't like it. And I know this is the only fair. I don't want to do air quotes, but that's the fairest way to do it, and I understand why they're doing it. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Tis what it is.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying.
That them letting them choose if this happened in maybe a final round, I'll be like, whoa, hold on a second.
Oh my god!
No,
imagine if they did that in the betting round of a championship match.
So if this would have happened in my match, I would have said flip a coin.
Yeah.
Whatever it lands on, he doesn't get to choose. You randomize it, flip a coin, heads this, heads tails that, and then he gets whatever is flipped.
Yeah.
That's the way I would have handled that situation. So.
Well. Moot point because
it's a moot point.
Their software tells them what slice it was on. So Josh gets heroes and villains. Villains. So, bit of a rocky round for Mr. Quevedo.
Yeah,
so I think his first question was about the beginning of Last Jedi. Sorry, everybody. Usually in other matches, you get a bit more of a shallow dive into the game. This one's gonna be a little bit deeper.
It's gonna be deep. Obviously.
Sorry. So it's beginning of Last Jedi. Mm-hmm. What's the silly name that he calls Hux instead of Hux? And it was Hugs,
General
as in
Hugs.
You hug your mama.
Yeah.
So he misses it. Doesn't go to multiple choice. Ace steals it.
Yeah.
gets 2 points of a steal. Huge.
It's a big steal.
Huge.
Yeah.
Which member of the Rogue One crew dies while detonating something? Cheer it. Didn't go to multiple choice.
The master switch.
It got stolen. Now Ace has four free points.
4 point steals. Yeah.
The next question that he missed was about a man named Tyrannus on the what location was recruited.
One of the moons of Bogdan. Yeah.
Yeah, and the answer was moons of Bogdan. I believe Josh said Camino.
Yes. Yeah, he said Camino.
And then Ace said the moons of Bestoon. Which
he probably had Rise of Skywalker in the brain.
Probably had Rise of Skywalker in the brain.
Yeah.
But it was moons of Bogdan. So Josh got lucky that wasn't stolen, especially because it would have been another big fat 2 points.
Yeah, and this is his first 3 questions, right?
It appears so.
Jeez.
Then he gets a question about who calls disguised Leia fearless and inventive. And it was Jabba. He finally remembers to go to multiple choice. Here's another thing where I'd like to make a note.
Yes.
So before this question, I believe it was right before this question. Christian was like, "Oh yeah, and by the way, I see Roxy because the managers are in the waiting room or whatever it's called."
Yeah.
And he kind of goes, "I see Roxy wanting to say something, whatever," and then he goes, just to remind the competitors about their multiple choice.
I think she
whatever.
wrote because there's a private chat for the room.
Oh.
And I think she might have been typing in
because she's probably muted so that she's not, and managers aren't in the announcer's ears.
Yeah.
I'm nitpicking.
Yeah.
Which everybody does, and I'm going to apologize in advance. But one thing that I just, and I understand that it was a play-in match, and it's 2 rookies to the division. Ace is not, Ace is a rookie. It's his first year.
No, he's played a while back.
Crap. Yeah, you're right. Never mind. Ace is not a rookie.
Race.
Ace is not a rookie.
Yeah.
But
he's a rookie to the division.
His debut in the Star Wars division.
Yeah.
So, in essence, they're both rookies and debuting. In the middle of a round, your manager doesn't get to come up to you and say, hey, you're not going multiple choice and you're missing a lot of points.
Yeah.
Make sure you go to multiple choice. That doesn't happen in the middle of any other round.
But to that argument, I would say that I think in that if it was a live where everybody was in the same room, I think she would be talking to Christian and not to her competitor. So she's not breaking the rules. You know what I mean? She wouldn't be reminding him. She'd be like, "Hey, Christian, you're not reminding him that multiple choice is an option."
But one thing you said while we were discussing this that I thought was a great point is, it's not up to the announcers to coach and manage the players. That's up to their managers to coach and manage the players. That's something you do when you're preparing for the match.
Yeah.
It's something that Andrew said. He brought up the whole thing that the announcers aren't the ones that are coaching the players.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You forgot what I was
lost my train of thought. Hold on. No, I'm going to get there. Hold on. Oh, because you said, had Josh just missed Moons of Bogdan.
Yeah.
Christian might be like, ooh, another big miss. Surprised he didn't go to multiple choice there.
Yeah. Sort
that could be an indirect way of if you really feel that you need to help them along.
Yeah.
That could be a roundabout way.
It's like, hey, man, don't forget you have multiple choice.
Nudging you a little bit. Don't forget, because I know this is your first match.
Yeah.
I know I'm nitpicking. I know I'm kind of being a jerk here.
But,
I was just thinking about it like, you never get to interrupt the match before. But to be fair, I'm thinking if you're in a studio match, she could have been in the, where everybody sits and being like, multiple choice.
Yeah.
In the background. Yeah. So, you know what? I'm probably wrong. Let's move on.
Well, no, but listen, because, I've always been on this, because whenever, Christian actually steps in and, hey, don't forget you have multiple choice, and he straight up tells the competitor, it's like,
he's doing the right thing. He's doing a nice thing.
He's doing the right thing. He's doing a nice thing, but my opinion has always been, they tell you the rules before the round starts, so it's up to you to remember that. And, if you're not paying attention, then that's your fault.
I'm guessing that the reason for it is, I know this is this guy's first match.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily see that happening in more seasoned matches.
Yeah, that's true too.
So maybe it was because I'm nitpicking. I'm just being a jerk here.
But yeah, because wow, I lost my train of thought.
Whoops.
Yeah, but this is a tough second round for him because
it was.
He was looking really good after the first, and then he hits this wall in the second, and it's like, wow, it begs the question how much time did they have? Because Roxy just picked this kid up, So like, how much time did they have to prepare for this match?
He was part of that free agent thing, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And he's been sitting in the wings because he was on the Droogs.
Yeah.
He was on the Drew. So and he's been sitting in the wings waiting for this. Mm-hmm. And who's to say, like, was Burnett prepping him for like a possible match coming up soon? Or was he just like, oh, he's there. I know he's there.
We'll get to him eventually.
Yeah, we'll get to him eventually. And then Roxy picks him up in the midst of this announcement of this big tournament. And
out of
nowhere. And like, how much time? Because like, she's got to worry about the IG competitors too.
Exactly.
So like, how much do you prepare for this kid? And like, it's like, wow, like you obviously didn't have enough time to prepare him because he forgot multiple choice several times.
It sucks.
And he burned all of his JTEs in the second round.
So
it's like, wow.
Yeah, I think 2 on one question, then 1 on another.
Yeah, I think that was
something
the case.
like that.
So
it sucks because Roxy, I feel like she's been taking a lot of heat because of this.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's really pointing the finger at Josh, probably because he's a rookie and this was his debut match.
Yeah.
So everyone's looking to Roxy like, you're the manager. Why didn't you prepare him? Why didn't you coach him? Why didn't you tell him? And it's like, listen, she might have. I actually was just looking at something. Roxy had her live show live at the Roxy with Ben Goddard on it. And I saw that somebody had commented on it like, oh, you know, Roxy's catching a lot of flack for this. And Roxy kind of alluded to, you know, I was trying to prepare him on a live stream or whatever, and he didn't seem very interested. He seems to be asking more questions about Twitch and how it works and the technical stuff, not so much like strategy and Schmoedown prep. Don't know how true that is.
Yeah, and that, it seems like she's defending herself, but also almost like
putting him down.
It's like, look, I tried. It's his fault that he didn't listen, but it's like, well, then it's your job as manager. It's like, don't worry about that. You need to focus on this.
Yeah.
Don't forget your He's like, he obviously remembered to use his JT. He's like, don't forget multiple choice.
Yeah.
Because you're giving away points at that point.
Yeah.
So.
4 huge points.
Yeah, 4 huge points.
It wouldn't have ended the way. I mean, obviously, it wouldn't have ended the way it did. But, you know, it wouldn't have ended in the fashion that it ultimately did. If you catch my drift, we'll get there. So. You know, rough round.
Yeah, it was a very rough round for him.
Ace spins The Force Awakens. He, there was a question about what planet gets destroyed by Star Killer Bees.
Yeah, what the planet that Corsella and the Lady Vervillicum.
Hosnian Prime. He missed it. I think he said the Hosnian system, which is not a planet. Missed it, but luckily for him, Josh did not steal it. Then there was a question about an action figure from a character that was in The Force Awakens. I do personally believe this was a pretty deep cut.
Yes.
It was a person that was visible for parts of the Nima output, Jakku chase.
Yeah.
And Constable Zuvio was the answer. He went to multiple choice. He got it. So good job to Ace. Don't know if it was a guess or an educated guess or whatever, but doesn't matter. You know, you get it.
Yeah.
Then the last question was about I never get the pronunciation. Abednego.
Again, I don't know if that's the correct way of saying it. That's just how I pronounce it. Abednego.
Because I feel like there was a character's probably not the right word for somebody in the Bible, but a
person.
Yeah, because there was
character in the Bible.
Character in the Bible. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I remember it from a play I was in. Shadrach, who had a name like that?
Somebody went to a private school.
I went to a private Episcopalian school. I did a lot of church songs.
Public school all the way.
You know, we have our differences. So, Abednego.
Yes.
Something about that. The answer was Eloasti. And he went to multiple choice. He didn't get it. It was stolen. Josh got it. And
you remember who he said, Ace?
I don't
remember who he said.
I don't remember. Because I don't remember if the multiple choices were all other Abednego people or if it was other random people.
I don't remember them being. I don't know. I'd have to do the choices again.
I don't know. All I know is that Josh stole it. So by the end of round 2, it's 15-20 in favor of Ace.
Yeah.
Woof. So round 3, 2-pointer for Josh. Return of the Jedi. Who dismisses Luke as a Jedi? You know, whatever. And it was Han when he's like, you know, waking up.
Oh, as delusions of grandeur.
Oh yes, that was I just punched the microphone. Yes, that was.
I don't think they heard that, but
that was the one.
that's what these shock absorbers are for.
I felt it. He got it. 3-pointer for Josh. Revenge of the Sith. This one.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
So
Let's talk about this.
We have a lot. I have a lot to talk about.
First Jedi executed after Order 66, and obviously the answer is Ki-Adi-Mundi.
So I guess
I feel bad even talking about it because again it's been rectified post game.
So yeah, let's get into that just so we can talk about this.
Just so we can get it out of our systems. Really, we just need to talk about it.
So
out loud.
no, the whole outcome of it. So
okay, let's keep on going.
We'll jump back to this.
We'll talk about Ki-Mundi later.
Yeah.
So he gets it.
He accepts. It's accepted.
He gets it. There was a challenge. We'll circle back.
Yeah, we'll circle back.
Yeah. 2-pointer for Ace, the Phantom Menace, who says you Jedi are far too reckless, and he got it. 5-pointer back to Josh. The name of the pal that inspires Han in the realm
Solo.
of heroes.
Oh, in here? I thought it was Solo.
Heroes is what I wrote down.
Ignore me.
Name of the pal that inspires Han to pull off a crazy maneuver during Kessel, and it was Needles. So, the initial score at the end of this was 20-22 in favor of Swag and Ace.
So 2 points to Swag.
So 2 points to Swag for that win. However, things went down after the match ended.
Because after he answered Ki-Mundi or Kai,
it was like a Ki-Mundi-ish is kind of.
I
almost
see what he was going for because he was trying to. I almost 100% think he was trying to say Ki-Adi-Mundi.
I mean, yeah.
But he was trying to rush and went Ki-Mundi. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but nevertheless, the Christian heard it as Ki-Mundi. And for some reason, so first off, Winston challenges that he didn't get the answer in time. He was overruled. And it's like, well, now he's just said Ki-Mundi. And the guy's name is Ki-Adi-Mundi.
It was Winston that threw out the challenge that he didn't get it in on time.
Yeah.
And then, on the heels of that discussion tattering off, Ace was like, well, Benny also didn't say Ki-Adi-Mundi.
Yeah.
Ace seemed like he was ready to kind of brush it away. I'm not sure how much of that was him just acting cavalier or actually being cavalier.
No, I think he was just trying to brush off, like, well, whatever, I'll get my 3 and my 5, and
I think he felt pretty confident in either case, but it spawned a conversation between us where, I don't know, maybe I'm just in a nitpicky mood this week. I think I am, because I did it at work a couple times this week, too.
I personally think that these are valid concerns and arguments that we're about to talk about.
Yes. Potentially. And also yes.
Yes.
So, the first thing that we were talking about was Winston, and again, I apologize in advance because we're about to split hairs here probably. Sorry. So, Winston challenges, did he get it in on time? Challenge more or less.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was more like no, you don't get to challenge that. Yeah. I'm saying that he was in.
Yeah.
Or if it was like your challenge is no.
Yeah.
You didn't get it. Your challenge is
is done. Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly which one it was.
I think in the moment it was more like, no, it's not a challengeable thing, so don't even bother. I think in the moment. And then they're like, well then we're going to challenge this. We're going to challenge this. Ha ha.
So which, if that's the way it was, then cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's live. It's live, so you can't really...
It's live.
Yeah.
It's harder.
Yeah.
For argument's sake, because it's just fun sometimes in a safe environment to argue.
Safety behind our mics. Christian isn't staring at us.
Well, I'm not saying the right thing was done. Ultimately, the right thing was done.
Yeah.
I'm just being a jerk here.
Yeah.
So... let's say Winston did issue that challenge, that he didn't get it in on time. And he lost the challenge. And then Ace just kind of happens to throw in there about the Ki-Adi-Mundi thing. I kind of draw an analogy between that. A very loose analogy.
I mean, yeah.
Between that and like sports, because
it's a valid argument because we're trying to treat this as much as a sport as possible, and the only comparison we really have is to like calls in football, calls in basketball, and baseball, and things like that.
Because it's like if you already burned your challenge, you're done. You don't get to say anything else. Kia Mundi, wrong.
Yeah.
And we all agree on that at this point. It is wrong, but if you already burned your challenge,
you shouldn't be able to.
You really shouldn't be able to. You shouldn't be able to reap the reward of an error like that. I told Andrew, I played basketball for several years, in my youth. And I'm not going to lie. I fouled people all the time on purpose.
Ooh,
but you do
Demi's
it
dirty.
You do it the right way so that they don't know when you're doing it.
Do it the right way. If you don't get caught, it's not illegal.
Exactly. So if I foul somebody, but the ref didn't see it, did it actually happen? No. I'm not getting ejected. So obviously it's fine. So air quotes
for our audio listeners.
So it's kind of a loose comparison. If you already lost your challenge, and that's the rule of the Schmoedown, you get one challenge. If it's overruled and you lose it, you don't get to challenge anything else.
Yeah. So this thing that they did retroactively shouldn't have happened at all. In what you're saying?
Loosely.
Yeah.
I do. Like I said, I will assert that I do think the right thing happened. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yes.
I'm just arguing for the sake of arguing because it's fun to think about.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like. Was that time challenge a challenge that was overruled or not? And it was just kind of like, nah, get out of here. My actual challenge that we issued was, and it's just complicated so much by the fact that we're not in person.
Yeah. And
it's hard to navigate. I think for the first live stream Twitch match,
it went pretty well.
I think it went swimmingly.
Yeah. And to bum off your comment of it comparing to sports, like in football, like hey, the coach was like, hey, I want to challenge it, and the ref will go like, what do you want to challenge? It's like, oh, I want to challenge this, and the ref will be like, no, that you can't challenge that. It's like, oh, okay, cool, and they just back off, and the coach still has their challenge, and the challenge doesn't go through because the ref reminds the coach like, yeah, no, that's not a challengeable offense,
which might have been what happened.
Yeah.
In that case, then you still have your challenge. Challenge Kimundi all day, every day. So I don't know. It's just something I was thinking about because I wasn't honestly sure what happened with that first.
Yeah, it was
challenge.
a little like wonky how that all went down. But my bigger concern with this challenge, is that when Kia Mundi was challenged, and the actual correct answer is Kiadi Mundi, because Kiadi Mundi is his full name. It's not like Adi is his middle name. It's not Qui Jin. It's Qui Gon Jin.
Obi Kenobi.
Yeah, so like.
Or Luke Walker.
Because my concern is that when it was challenged, Christian did his thing, and he conferred with the writers and everybody else behind the scenes, and he said, well, it's in the document. I conferred with the writers. They say it's correct.
They're confident in their spreadsheet
their answer.
Or whatever.
I'm going with Key Mundi. And the fans go wild because like everybody knows that is the wrong answer. I would argue to say that even Christian knows that's the wrong answer. But I think he's trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? He's trying to back his writers up by saying
writers should.
As he should. I mean, I do not envy the writers at all.
No,
they have probably the toughest job in the entire Schmoedown.
Yeah.
To determine what questions are harder, what questions to put where. But my concern is that I don't know how big of a fan, big of Star Wars fans the writers are, and how much more they know about Star Wars than the competitors do. And my concern is that because the difference between right and wrong, especially in Star Wars, is paper thin, even thinner. You know what I mean? Like a word here, a letter there can determine whether you're right or wrong. And if the writers don't do the proper research or go deep enough into the research, that can determine whether you get the question wrong or right. And then I don't want to be in that situation where I know 100% what I said was right, but since Christian is going with the writers and like all that, and in the moment he's like, no, the writer said this. They're confident that they know the answer is right, and I would be livid if that ends up costing me the match, because
it was a crazy moment in my opinion. To hear Key Mundi is correct and the writers are confident in it.
Yeah.
It's like a quick... Andrew actually Googled Key Mundi and Key Adi Mundi
showed up. Like he's the top like 12 answers on Google search when you type in Kia Mundi or Ki Mundi. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, did you mean Kiadi Mundi?
Yeah. The bright side about all of this is that, like we said with whatever we were talking about before, it's a moot point because
it ultimately led back to
a statement was released that, hey, listen, we made a boo-boo. And Ki Adi Mundi was the correct answer.
Yeah.
The points will not be awarded. So that technically, I believe,
gives them 3
makes
points.
it a TKO for Swag.
Yeah.
Which has to burn for the Rock Stars. Not that it really hurts them
really,
so much.
Who I think is the most
just on principle, really.
The people that I think that are the most like angry with this decision is the Den. They are now in third place while Swag has taken over second. And they're right on the Finstock Heels exchange
like 3
now.
points behind or something like that?
Yes. Everybody wants to like, oh, the Finstock exchange, there's nobody's going to catch them. Like, they're 3 points behind.
They're right there.
These tournaments will most definitely shake up the standings.
For sure.
But,
and it's not the end of it either because we still got, teams and singles tournaments.
Yeah, exactly. So
there's still a lot more season there to go. That was hard.
And this point of like the challenges, because like challenges are such a huge contention this season, is that like the fact that these matches are live now, it's like it worries me that Christian doesn't want to go that extra little bit because hey, we got to wrap this this up because we're live. It's like, well, no, a lot is riding on this. This isn't like some tournament where hey, we're just having a Star Wars tournament, just have a Star Wars tournament. It's like, no, the winner of this gets a title shot.
Yeah,
and that means a lot to a lot of people, myself included.
Yeah.
So like if that's the case, you need to go that extra mile to make sure that the decisions made is ultimately the correct one.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I know from my vantage point, I'd much rather sit in the audience and wait a couple minutes for, I mean, I understand, time is money. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But, like, I would much rather sit and wait for a couple of minutes while something is researched and have, a nice, thorough, investigation of the challenge rather than like, no, we're good. That's what we got.
Yeah, because like just to shoot off like that, it's like, well.
But, it was the first live.
Yeah.
We got to kind of cut some slack here.
Yeah.
Who knows if something like this will happen again,
I would argue that it won't, because now that we're actually in the tournament, everybody is so like on point that I don't think we'll get like a shady answer.
Might I remind you of Cold Tap?
That's true too. I think I hope that the writers have looked back at past matches, and look like, well, we can't go into this question because of, and that's why I'm worried that like maybe the writers aren't as big into canon junkies as the rest of us are in this competition, because arguably everybody in this tournament are huge canon junkies. They watch and
they wouldn't be here
everything.
If they weren't.
Exactly. So it's like, where do you? And I said this as much in my last post-match interview. Where do we draw the line?
Yeah.
So, and it's just one of those things.
Star Wars is
it's a unique beast. It's an absolute.
It runs deep, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So if they just, I don't know, if they stick to questions that don't have those gray areas with the canon, I think they'll be fine. But once you start venturing into those areas, it gets a little muddy.
Yeah.
And you definitely, especially when you get to the later rounds in the tournament, you're gonna have to start digging deeper, because you gotta cut through the weeds and find that diamond who's gonna take on Alex.
Yeah.
Because if we get deeper into the tournament and the questions are still like surface level,
muddy,
like surface level questions.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And they're not like deeper cuts. Then it's like
you're just handing Alex points.
You're just handing Alex points at this point. So
yeah,
those are my concerns. And again. Everything about this stream was almost flawless. Aside from that,
it went
very well. It went better than expected, because like Christian was like, oh, maybe like 600 people will tune in. There's close to like 2,000.
1 point something.
I think
1.7. I want to say.
No, I think he said there was close to 2,000 people watching. So
rounding up.
And the whole bringing in people after the match, I actually really enjoyed that.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. It adds a new angle for fans, a new incentive for fans, because who wouldn't want to?
And it's great, and that's
talk face to face with someone that they're a fan of.
And Twitch is the prime platform for that, because Twitch is all about interaction and like bringing in your audience and things like that. So, yeah.
We going really long here?
No, we're good.
Oh, cool.
We're good.
Cool.
We're good. And so, what did you think of Ace's performance in this match? He actually ended up surprising me in this. I was like, wow, okay, cool. Because like compared to his Inner Geekdom match, it's like, wow.
Well,
Ace
I mean, Ace said from the get-go that he feels more comfortable in Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Which definitely seemed like the case. He seemed very laid back. He seemed very comfortable, confident, loose, whatever other words you want to use to describe it. He was looking good when he started. I think he did a very respectable job. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Now the question becomes...
Does he have what it takes to go up against Ken?
Exactly.
Oh, man.
And I mean, granted, that's not the next match coming up, so I don't know if you want to...
He's got a while.
I don't know if you want to go into that right now. But it does raise the question of, okay, well, now you get to climb Mount Kenneth. Manjaro. That was weird. I'm sorry. I apologize. Now you get to go against Kylo Ken.
Kylo, yeah. I mean, he did a respectable job. He got some really big steals.
And I don't want to get too far into this match because it's not the next one, but it's like ring rust. Is that a thing with Ken? He has raw knowledge. Oh, yeah. It's still Ken. He still has his mind's a steel trap for Star Wars.
He talks Star Wars, like when they record Force Center, I think I talked to him about this. They record up to 6 hours in one day. What? So they're I could be wrong, but I remember I remember a conversation that I had with him. It was like, yeah, we record a lot in one day. I'm like, Jesus, wow.
I remember not having kids.
We get it. You don't have kids.
We get it.
But so Ace did really well in this. I think it's just nerves might have been a factor for a couple, because he said that, I used to know that, and
they both said that.
Yeah,
at one point.
To that point, I will say used to ain't gonna cut it in this tournament, buddy.
No.
If that comes up, that granted that question is probably not gonna be asked again in this tournament. But if there's anything like that in your head, might want to revisit it, because used to is not going to win you this tournament, because at this point, because the play-in was sort of like a toss-up, we never seen Quevedo compete ever. We never seen Ace compete.
I think it was a total toss-up.
It was a total toss-up. So this is we wonder how. We know what everybody is capable of in this tournament. We've seen everybody play.
We've got some more than others, but we've got tape on everybody.
We've got tape on everybody, and Adam Witt and Sean Sullivan and Molly are sort of wild cards, because we only see them compete once, but. Molly's not one to be underestimated, because wife of the champion. Adam Witt and Sean Sullivan, they were called in last minute. So who knows that, there's more knowledge floating around in their heads, and they've had time to prepare. So there are I would guarantee, I said going into this tournament, there are no knockouts in this tournament.
No, I don't think there's going to be any knockouts or TKOs.
But so shows you how much I know that there's a knockout. We just saw a knockout.
One,
but I would
apart from the play-in.
Yeah, apart from the play-in. But I'm going on record. I would almost put money in the bank saying that there are no knockouts going in from this point on.
I would bet money that there's not going to be any TKOs or knockouts. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, if you are one that says, "Oh, why is Star Wars a league? Why is Star Wars its own division?"
Watch this tournament. You'll get your answer.
You'll be like, "Oh, that's why." Because it's a small division. Yeah, there's 10 of us, nine of us in this division.
Like
There's 9 of us in this division. Maybe there's one waiting in the wings, but every single one of us has a chance for the belt. There's no denying that. So if you're wondering what is Star Wars' own division, watch this tournament. You will be answered exactly why, because every match I can almost guarantee will be drag out.
I do believe that's.
I can see every single one of these matches going to sudden death. I can honestly see that.
I think that's a tall order.
It's a tall order, but it can most definitely happen. I can almost say maybe 2 matches in the first round will go to sudden death.
Could.
So.
This is going to be an exciting tournament, and I mean, should not sleep on the Star Wars League, and also Twitch.
Oh man,
sorry, you got to hunt for it, bro.
It went better than you expected. There's a lot of people watching, so
I mean, they dug around for that link and they really hunted for it. Maybe they found it. They really excavated the internet and they somehow unearthed it.
Oh, they went on to Christian's tweet and clicked the button.
God, I don't know how.
I don't know how I got there.
It took me a long time to find that match. I got there.
But yeah, so as far as Josh Quevedo goes, I don't think we've seen the last of him.
I don't think so.
It's hard to come into a play-in and to go up against somebody like Ace for your first match, and on such short notice too, because this was this got announced 3 weeks ago, 2 to 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
It's like, oh well, I guess I'm competing
and
now.
You just got traded.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff happens. So there's so many factors going into this match for Quevedo. I don't think the potential is there. It's just You got to polish him up a little bit. You got to coach him up a little bit.
And I'm just curious if what was said in that comment about Roxy's stream about him being kind of uninterested. I wonder how much validity there is to that statement. I'm reading a comment about it's a comment about a video that someone's commenting on somebody else.
It's like so many degrees.
So it's kind of like, how true is it?
Yeah.
Because I don't, based on his performance, I don't think it's the last we've seen of him.
No, I don't think so.
But is he wanting to come back? I mean, I don't know. In the post-match interview, he probably said he would. So
yeah.
I don't think it's the last we've seen of him.
I don't think he should step away. Again, this division is already so small, so we need to keep the competitors we have.
Yeah.
Just to make it grow.
Otherwise, you're going to end up with me. So, no, don't do it.
The Huntress coming in. Watch out.
Oh, yeah.
The Huntress. I like that.
Huntress.
Hashtag the Huntress. Mm-hmm. But anyways, so oh god, where were we going with that? So anything else with this match that we want to get into? Because like we hit some of the biggest points of the challenge.
We vented a lot just for funsies.
Sorry.
I am sorry. I'm just nitpicking.
I think these are valid concerns to have because this tournament is the first of its kind, really.
Yeah.
A live tournament on Twitch.
Previous to this, it's always been like you get one match, you get your shot at the belt.
Yeah.
This is the first time anyone has to go through a gauntlet to get to Alex.
Exactly. So you're really testing these competitors.
Unprecedented.
Yeah. And you I would argue I said it before, the difference between a correct answer and a wrong answer is razor thin in these questions. And the difference between competitors is razor thin because we all know Star Wars. We all love Star Wars. And I would say that this tournament isn't to determine who loves Star Wars the most, or who knows the most about Star Wars, or it is technically who knows most about Star Wars, but to
an extent.
But there's gameplay comes to effect, strategy, and knowing when to use your repeats, nerves,
because
all that.
People have missed questions that the answers are in their brain.
Yeah.
It just fizzed out for a minute.
Yeah, you see it all the time in this division where the answer comes on oh no,
so
I knew that.
I don't necessarily think it's it's person one, so they know more.
Yeah,
not at all.
No,
it's just that either you caught them in a blind spot,
or you just had a bad day
on a bad day, or it's in their brain and it's just they just can't see it in their brain that day. Maybe if you'd have asked them that a couple weeks ago, they would have said it on the spot.
Oh yeah, that.
But having Christian staring at you, counting down makes you go, oh no, who is Luke's dad?
Game pressure is the thing, people. I mean, it's totally. I was nervous in my audition. I've said this several times before that I missed questions in my audition that I have no idea why I missed them because it's
because you got Christian staring at you.
And it was just me and Christian on a Skype call. I was like, hey dummy, answer this question in 5, 4, no. Oh no, Ray.
It's real.
Yeah. So
pressure's real.
It is. It's 100% real. And that's the thing. I think we should stop saying the lights got to you. I really think we should say the pressure gets to you. That's more thing.
I mean, I feel like lights are just a metaphor for pressure.
Yeah.
I don't know that anybody necessarily believes it's the hot lights. Sometimes it is.
Sometimes it's
because the lights do get hot, literally.
Yeah, I've been on record saying that the lights in the studios are pretty distracting sometimes.
And I've been on my fair share of stages in my time and sweat like a dude when I'm on those stages. So the lights do literally and metaphorically be hot.
Yeah.
So, but also I think it's the being under the lights got to you. I think it's a literal thing and a metaphorical thing.
Yeah. So any more notes that you have that you want to talk about? But before we move on to the next thing, not with this match. Any more things that.
No, I don't think so. I think we nitpicked enough. I think.
Anything that happened on SEN or backstage or I don't think there was. I remember not watching backstage a lot because I've been tucking myself away in a cave, in a tree cave, you might say. Staying away from social media, staying away from I listened to a bit of the Twitter special of the tournament pre-tape, and I'm not gonna comment on that. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I listened to a little bit of it, but I'm just gonna whatever. I'm just gonna
breeze on past it.
Breeze on past it. I'm just gonna not talk about it. I could have sworn there was something on SCN that was said about Christian or something. Anyways, but
oh well.
But next week's match for the first match in the first round of the tournament is Laura Kelly versus Sean Sullivan.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on this match?
My thoughts are that I feel bad that everybody is automatically 100% overlooking Sean.
Yes.
I understand why it's happening because we've only seen Sean in one match.
We only have one match game tape on him, so
he did not have, the most perfect game.
Yeah.
And everybody's looking at Laura, who is coming off of a title shot with Alex. She obviously knows her stuff. Yes. She has shown that she knows her stuff, and she is somebody to watch out for.
Yeah,
for sure. But it just makes me feel sad that everyone's just like, oh my God, Laura, Laura's the most amazing person ever. And Sean's just like, oh, cool.
Well, Sean's been talking a lot of smack. He's been talking a lot of smack.
And Jill has been too.
Yeah.
Because I saw on Twitter that Jill, Sean's lady, she was saying something. Laura tweeted something. I forget what she tweeted, but Laura tweeted something.
Yeah.
And then Jill replied saying that Sean was going to bust everyone's brackets. Yeah. And then, like, Shannon. Shannon just rolls into town. Queen. She just rolls into town like a tornado and says something that I can't repeat on a now family-friendly podcast.
We're a family-friendly podcast, people.
But she, painted a very graphic visual image of Sean. And I was just like, oh my God. Shannon is just doing what she do best.
Yeah.
And Shannon made a comment about, oh wow, nice that you're doing all the smack talk for Sean. Where is he? Why can't he do his own?
Hey,
so
man, he's busy.
He's busy. He's probably watching movies. It would be a crazy upset.
I think
for Sean to win.
I think if Sean wins this match, it is automatically upset of the year for me. I don't care what other matches happen. If Sean is able to win and beat Laura Kelly, even if it's in by 1 point in sudden death, upset of the year. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah, I would find it hard to disagree.
Yeah, I don't care if I don't know, Stacey Howard beats Dan Murrell. I don't care. Sean Sullivan over Laura Kelly is, and again, this is only basing off of what I've seen out of Sean in one match.
That's another tall order.
But
goodness, because Stacey Howard over Dan Murrell, I would.
Don't listen to me. But
he was exaggerating a little bit.
I was exaggerating a little bit. But I don't care who else goes up. Oh, this person beats this person. Sean beating Kelly is
huge. That would be gigantic.
It would be enormous. That would be the biggest bracket buster because nobody has Sean going into this.
I'm pretty sure he would break 90 to 95% of people's brackets.
Yeah, I think the only people going for Sean in this match are the people in his faction, and that's pretty much it. Because there are polls out there. It's wow. Yeah. Laura's pretty much only about
overwhelmingly
the
favorite.
So,
but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Given the tape that we had on that we have currently on both of them, it's hard to bet against Laura in this matchup.
Yeah. Laura has two? She has 2 perfect first rounds. I think she missed one in the title match.
No, they both got a perfect round, but she missed the bonus question.
So it's she has perfect but not flawless first rounds.
Yes.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. I like this one. I'm going with Kelly on this one. Just
it's hard
not to go with Kelly. She knows she's a very, very tough competitor. Arguably, me and Sean have the hardest first rounds in this tournament. When you look at all the first rounds with Ace going up against Ken, Molly going up against Adam, me against Scrimshaw, and Sean against Laura, I would say Sean has the tougher first round, and right behind him is my match with Scrimshaw. I think he has a tall order.
I would agree, and then I think behind that would be Ken and Ace, and then behind that would be Molly and Adam. I think that Molly and Adam are well matched.
Yeah, that's a toss up.
They're a well matched match. I think it could honestly be a toss up.
Yeah.
Ace and Ken, it seems lopsided, and I think that it kind of is.
Yeah.
But then, the argument can be made that, Ken's been out of it for how long? Is ring rust a thing? Have we really seen the best of Ace? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sean's got...
He's got one match to tape.
He's got his work cut out for him.
Yeah. I know this from personal experience, from 2 matches. Laura's definitely not to be underestimated.
No.
Absolutely not.
Not at all.
She's a tough competitor to go up against, and it's like if Sean is able to beat her,
that would be tremendous.
That's tremendous.
Oh my god,
that's tremendous. And can you imagine that first round corruption out of the Star Wars tournament? No, and they're in second to last place, so you're missing on all these points.
I'm just saying
that would be massive for the upset and massive for the scoreboards.
It's a tall order for Sean.
Mm-hmm.
It would be massive if he does it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but if
we've seen crazier things happen.
We have seen crazier things happen. We've seen people do. You know, we've seen Andrew Guy and Dan Merle. That's
the de facto
golden example.
Yeah.
Of a sure thing.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be.
I see Laura, but given that I know how much Sean is working, because he said so, and I imagine all of the competitors are studying their buns off, family friendly.
Their buns, their little
but
booties.
I would say this is like by 2 points, or by 1 point. I don't see it going more than 3.
I don't see it being It's.
I don't see it being decided more than 3 points.
It's gonna be close. I do not think anything's gonna be a TKO or a knockout.
Mm-mm.
So I do think, and I really hope it is gonna be close. Yeah. I do not want to see blowouts.
No, I don't. I don't either, because it bodes well for the division when all these matches are blowouts.
It's exciting.
Or not blowouts, are drag out fights.
Yeah.
So yeah, we both have Kelly going into the next for first round of the round.
I mean, I love Sean and Jill, but it's just it's hard.
It's hard to pick against.
It's hard
Kelly.
to not pick Kelly.
Yeah,
in that matchup.
But again,
prove me wrong, Sean.
Prove us wrong. You know, I'm pulling for Sean.
But
it's Kelly.
Odds are in
Kelly.
her favor.
It's Laura Kelly. Anyways, I think we'll end it there. We've got a full episode. So Nicki Dimalanta, where can they find you online?
Well, Twitter. I say things on Twitter. At Dimmy. DIMMMY.
We gotta get you more plugs. As for me, you can follow me on Twitter and Twitch at Drew Dimalanta, DIMALANTA. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe to this channel if you would like to support us. If you would be so kind, if you're an audio listener, go to wherever you find this podcast feed and rate us. It'll help us out tremendously. I think that was the wire, wasn't you? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was like, what do they do?
I thought I slapped your hand. Sorry. But yeah, rate us. It'll help us out.
It
should help us out tremendously. And if you do feel so inclined to join the Patreon, go to patreon.com/Andrew and Nikki. Become a member of the Squadron. Thank you to all our Patreon supporters, especially our Squadron commanders, Tamor Butta, Tamor Butta, Ferris Mathana, and Alec Miller. Thank you for your support to our Squadron commanders.
Don't tax your brain thinking of names. We're only recalling Star Wars information right now.
But yes, thank you again for all of our squad mates for your continued support. We will be getting into the watch-alongs, the movie watch-alongs. Our first one obviously will be Star Wars: A New Hope, and I think we've already decided our second one. If you listen for our patrons that listen to our last play along,
maybe
I think it'll be fun. So we're gonna go to Star Wars.
I haven't seen it in a while.
And then we're gonna jump into Monster-in-Law.
So random.
Hey,
so much fun.
I love that movie. I love that movie.
Love that movie.
But yeah, so if you wanna,
I just wanna have a mimosa and eat brunch while I eat that movie. That movie? Watch that. Eat brunch while I watch that movie.
So if you want to get in on those watch-alongs, I think we're just going to do them pre-taped. We won't do them. Doing them live is a whole other headache. So we'll do it pre-taped, and you can watch us. You can watch or watch along with us. We'll cue you in on when to press play on the movie. And that's for our Squadron captains at the $10 tier for all that. So $10 chilling up and up, we'll get those watch-alongs. And I have yet to post one of my short film journals. I think I'm going to do one of those this weekend, so you'll get those for our Squadron officers. But with that, we're going to go ahead and end there. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. We'll see you next time.
Next time.
You got to be on me with that. Let's go.
Oh, boy. Miss my cue.